From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. Prime Minister Mark Carney is brushing off any suggestions of sanctioning Israel for appearing to violate the Middle East ceasefire agreement.
Canada will use its offices, its influence to support. I wouldn't go to what you're suggesting as the method at this point, at this delicate point in time, in order to advance. But the ceasefire needs to include Lebanon and needs to include it now.
Israel attacked Beirut yesterday in renewed strikes at the Iran-backed Hezbollah militant group, despite a ceasefire with Iran just hours before. The Prime Minister was among world leaders who signed a statement calling on all sides to implement a ceasefire, including in Lebanon. Prime Minister Mark Carney's broken ground on Canada's first so-called nation-building project. The Liberal government fast-tracked the Port of Montreal's expansion at Contrecoeur as a way to strengthen and diversify the economy against U.S. trade uncertainty. Meanwhile, Pierre Poilievre is defiant in the face of questions about his Conservative Party leadership. Ontario's Marilyn Gladu is the fourth MP to defect from the Conservatives to the Liberals. Poilievre says 8.3 million Canadians voted Conservative in last year's election.
Our mandate and my leadership does not come from dirty backroom deals. It comes from the people of Canada.
But a former top aide to Stephen Harper says Gladu's decision to leave feels different, calling her a true blue conservative. U.S. First Lady Melania Trump is denying ties to Jeffrey Epstein and any knowledge of his sex crimes.
I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island.
Her out-of-the-blue statement today has caught the White House and Washington's political world by surprise. Back here at home, Environment and Climate Change Canada says it will start using artificial intelligence to make its weather forecasts. It plans to launch a hybrid model using both AI and traditional forecasting. The agency hopes the combination will lead to more accurate predictions. A new report says March featured Canada's largest drop for average asking rents in nearly 5 years.
The latest monthly analysis from Rentals.ca and Urbanation says prices declined 5.3% in March year-over-year to an average of $2,008. Average rents continued to fall in Ontario, BC, Alberta, and Quebec, while increases were seen in Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba. Urbanation President Sean Hildebrand says the accelerating drop in rents shows in real time the market impact from the declining population, coupled with ongoing affordability issues, heightened economic uncertainty, and record-high apartment completions. Michelle Zadikian, The Canadian Press.
In sports, Rory McIlroy has opened his Masters title defense with a 5 under 67 to grab a share of the early lead at Augusta National. Nick Taylor is the top Canadian right now in an 8-way tie for 13th at 1 under. Montreal hosts a key battle in the NHL's Atlantic Division tonight as the Canadians welcome Tampa Bay. Habs are the hottest team heading into the final games of the regular season with 9 wins in their last 10 games. Also tonight, the Winnipeg Jets look for their third straight win against visiting St. Louis. Ottawa welcomes Florida. Toronto visits the New York Islanders. Calgary's at Colorado, and Vancouver visits Los Angeles. The Toronto Raptors are looking to improve their chances of a direct berth into the NBA playoffs tonight when they welcome the Miami Heat. Toronto enters its third last game of the season in 6th place in the Eastern Conference. And Canadian Owen Casey had 3 hits and 3 RBIs to help the Miami Marlins beat the Cincinnati Reds 8-1. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow and subscribe. For more of today's top stories, visit thecanadianpressnews.ca.